Don't get those socks. Hey, come sit down. It's podcast time.
Trying to get attention. Just ignore him.
No one ignores Blitz. No one puts Blitzy in a corner. Is this your spot? Okay.
All right.
No, don't lick the mic. I'm sorry. Yeah, there was no Blitz cam on episode 8. What a buzzkill.
Matt and Becca.
Ready for episode 9. Can you believe it? What are we going to do for our 10th episode?
You said after 5 you were supposed to buy equipment and you haven't, so maybe you should do that.
What mics should I get? Man, I need help with that. Someone who actually knows what they're doing. Send me like what mics I should get. The biggest issue that I'm running into is like I hate this table and these chairs.
We need a whole. We need a new
on a
table.
Surfboard the whole time, and this like moves all
new
around.
Table and chairs.
I can't imagine like hooking a mic to it without
new
it
table
being
and chairs. And we need like some, I feel like some neon or LED lights like up here or something.
I like the Blitz. But yes, a Matt and Becca.
Something
neon sign.
Something up there.
The no regrets neon sign. Hello!
Bolt.
Welcome back.
Pod. No regrets. Blitz. Matt and Becca. Own who you are. All in neon.
We got a lot of things going for us. All in neon. It is episode 9 of the No Regrets podcast. Thank you guys for hanging with us as long as you have. Thank you for believing in us and hanging around for all this weird stuff that we do. And that doesn't end this week. I'm sure we're going to have other weird things to talk about. Good questions. Just typed them out this morning. And we are all over the place, just the way we like it. How was the week?
Once again, she didn't give me any heads up on the questions, guys.
Man, you don't deserve it.
She prepares all of these answers to try to like give zingers to me. I have no idea what's coming.
Thoroughly enjoy the most natural reaction that you have to all of these. And I think they enjoy it too. These questions. I should start off by apologizing for last week's episode. And I've had members come up to me this past week and be like, man, you were grumpy on that last episode of the podcast. Did you need a hug or something? And the funniest thing is like I went into that podcast, I was fine. Not grumpy at all. I think it was just your face or something that was ticking me off. And then you brought up the games.
I don't think
and
it was my
just
face.
Like
I think it was CrossFit Games, and then you just
spiral toilet
salty
since the games. I was super salty. Yeah. Okay. But we're going to talk about the game some more. So good thing is I have more coffee. I was really concerned. I had to jump in to coach the 5 and 6 a.m. crew, which I don't normally coach on Thursdays, the same day we shoot the podcast. So I was like, oh no, they about to get Grumpy Becca part 2 because we were up early.
We should have done it right after the 6 a.m. class.
No, that would have been interesting. You would have been grumpy then.
No.
I would have been up and like I got my dose of watching people do fitness from 5 and 6 a.m., which sometimes does hype me up. But it's been a rough week for sleep. I was telling you a little bit about it. Just busy week from the extra media we did on Monday, painting shoes, getting that order done, and then just I like to be up here early, and then my body's just like, what the heck are you doing? Like, give me some sleep. But I felt
it's not just that. We talked about this. It's the heat, the prolonged time. Right now, it's very hot here in Texas. And it's the prolonged time of trying to do the training volume, but she stays busy and active within other things. So
coaching videos all in the gym.
It's hard when she like trains. She maybe comes inside for like 5 minutes to get some water or something, but then she's back outside coaching, doing a video, coaching again, and then
in the afternoon.
And then you train again. And so you've been in 100 plus degrees for like 5 hours straight doing a workout on either end. That's hard.
Better than the cold.
Hard for your body to deal with.
That's for sure. It's better than the cold.
Not ideal for performance, but
I come in here for 5 minutes in the afternoon and Blitz runs in the office with me and then just looks at the top of the refrigerator where his treats are. He's like, it's snack time. Woo! And he gets.
Who do you think gives him more snacks? Because he never does that with me.
Who do you think he loves more? Because I give him more snacks.
I think he still loves me more.
I think he does too. Okay, so you guys, I will be less grumpy this time. I'm in a good mood. I'm ready to hammer some of these questions. I need to share a story with you because this has not happened only once but twice. Is the first thing I did when we walked in here is I put on deodorant, the deodorant that I had here, because I always have deodorant stashed like
Back up.
obviously at home and at the gym, just because usually I reapply in the afternoon, especially when it's this hot. But I ran out of my deodorant at home, and I go, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? And I haven't made it melon. To the cucumber melon, and I haven't made it back to the store since then. And I was like saving that deodorant at home. Well, everybody I feel like has been in this situation. Guys. No, wait. Let me paint the picture for you. I opened my deodorant stick at 4:30 this morning, and the last little bit just like flew. It's probably like under the cabinets in the sink because I didn't clean up. I'll get that later. But it like flew, and I was like, no! What am I gonna do? The only solution is to use your deodorant and use your men's deodorant. Well, that's not an issue for me. Men's deodorant works way better than women's deodorant. I know a lot of ladies that use men's deodorant, or athletes, just because it stays on better. But I had this issue all morning, is I smelled like you. And it's not a bad thing, but I feel like I'm just like, where's Matt? It was so distracting, and I hated it. I love the way you smell, but I don't want to smell like you personally. There's my deodorant story. But that's not the first time I've done that. The first time I did it, the same thing happened. I was like, I don't like smelling like you because I feel like, ooh, where is he?
I'm always watching.
I know.
I'm always there.
So one of my biggest fears, second to obviously living with regret, and treadmills are tied at the top, is going deodorantless
for like
throughout the day. Yeah, it's just
being
nasty.
The stinky kid.
It's just nasty. Well, and having those like sticky, sweaty armpits.
Yeah, guys, wear your deodorant in the summer. Not just for you, it's Public for everyone around you.
Yeah.
Especially in a hot, sweaty gym.
I was sandbag marching next to someone who didn't have deodorant yesterday. And I go, bye. Okay. There, I thought I'd share that with you. Do you have any?
Thank you.
No. Thank you. Do you have any stories for me?
No, I was just saying it's ridiculous because you've probably been on that last like razor thin edge of having enough deodorant left that you've been like writing out instead of just buying more deodorant.
I'm not that skimpy with my deodorant. I'm just trying to save it till I get to the store on the weekend, and then I keep forgetting it. The last 3 weeks, I said I need to buy deodorant, and I keep forgetting.
Yeah. It's kind of like the app.
Saving it.
Kind of like the app you've been delaying purchasing.
You need to let go of that. You need to let go of that. I'll share the video on this podcast of what happened. I was like crying, laughing. Of all the issues that need to be solved within the gym, Matt thinks it's.
What do you mean within the gym? It's not. It's not one
we always have things to work on.
Don't put this back on me.
We always have things to work on.
Don't put this back on me.
Okay. Well, if it's that important to you, tell the people why you think I had to spend so much time buying this app.
You see all these videos, right? That she does, all the edit. You don't realize the amount of editing and time spent editing.
A lot of work.
Her reels, YouTube, the podcast, a lot of time. So she uses an app, and every so often, it runs ads on the app, and it's like 5 seconds of some stupid game that you have to sit there and watch until you hit next.
I've never downloaded one of those games that advertises.
Well, I know you're not gonna buy it, but it's wasting your time. It's messing up your flow of work. And I'm like, your time is worth getting the app. And I'm like, how much is the app? Thinking it's going to be like $10 a month.
I thought it was going to be
like 99 cents a month. And I had to like physically sit her down and make her stop and sign up to pay 99 cents a month. So she didn't have to waste her time looking at those stupid apps or ads in the app. And I'm just like, value your time. That's why you're doing that stuff, is like, create a following, you're creating a YouTube, try to monetize it so we can do lots of cool stuff, and then you're wasting your time watching stupid ads.
Now I'm going to have to put those $12 that I spend throughout the year because of that app on my budget.
Yeah, and it's tax write-off. So
thank you.
Guys, be smart with your time. That's why you make money.
Don't get mad when I go start harassing you when you're doing dumb things. Well,
do it. I need help when I'm being dumb.
Yeah, but this
is well, so are you. Look at this. This is our job. When I'm doing something dumb, you tell me, and then I fix it. When you're doing something dumb, I tell you, and
don't
then you fix
be dumb. That was our theme of the year last year. It's still carrying into this year. Don't be dumb. You want to do something cool? I'm going to hold my face correctly on this. Let's talk about the CrossFit Games. Actually, there are some questions in here. I knew we'd get some CrossFit Games questions. I'm ready to answer some.
Right, I had one training story I wanted to share. Before we get into questions, are we getting into questions?
Well, I was just going to talk about it's Games Week.
Yeah.
Okay, what's
started today? Well, I just thought this was interesting. I don't know if anybody else realizes this. And it's kind of, I think it's funny because it just kind of puts you in a mindset of, or my mindset of being an athlete. I've been doing a lot of heart rate training where I make myself stay under a certain heart rate. And it's really challenging. You've been doing some of it with some of the Zone 2 I've been making you do. And we want to go fast. And I think we really have a hard time understanding RPE as CrossFitters because we're used to like death or nothing. And we, at least me, I definitely know like when it comes to mobility or stretching or working through injuries, I have to be careful because I'm always like, no pain, no gain. It has to be hurting or to like get some benefit out of it, which isn't true. But it's easy to coach people through that, but not hold yourself to that. But anyways, I've been doing this heart rate training. I'm on the runner, running at this heart rate. I'm barely moving, and I feel so slow. But some days we eat lunch too late.
Oh God.
And there's been days where I'm like on the runner, and I hit this
podcast in a row.
I have this like
about like puking.
No, like I'll burp, and my heart rate will drop like 10 or 15 beats per minute. Like when you burp, like you can see it immediately, and like I'm like, is this normal? I can't figure it out. And then I've done a little looking now, like it is a normal thing.
You researched this?
Yeah, I looked it up. Like
when you burp, your heart rate.
It has something to do with like your valgus nerve from the burp, like your non, like it makes you kind of, your involuntary nervous system kicks on for a second. It kind of slows your heart rate down for a second. So I noticed it over time. The ridiculous thing is I'm always trying to go faster than my heart rate will let me when I'm doing the heart rate training. And then now I'll hit that burp and I'll be like, oh, hell yeah. I have like a second I can run faster because my heart rate's going to fall.
No one goes stand next to him, I guess. No. The end of this story is no one goes stand next to him when he's doing Zone 2 on the air runner. You're probably just like,
no. Now I'm like, can I try to burp to keep my heart rate down? But no, I get excited because I'm like, oh, I can crank it up. I can increase my pace for a second until my heart rate comes back up and then slow back down.
You just start running faster.
It's just stupid because I should know my heart rate's going to get back there soon, and I'm doing the heart rate. There's a reason I'm doing the heart rate, but my dumb, competitive, it needs to hurt brain is like, yes, I get to go fast for a second.
Burp. just
get this burp out, and I can go fast.
It's like your Mario power up.
Yeah,
you just start running faster.
Hey.
My question is, what happens when it comes out the other end?
I haven't experimented.
Have you researched that one?
I haven't experimented on that.
I feel like it's the same.
You guys want? I'll put on my heart rate monitor when I go to the bathroom. I'll let you guys know.
Is there a Whoop setting or a setting for bathroom break on your heart rate monitor? Oh, my sister texted us the other day. She was like, did you know your Whoop has a yard work setting? Like for your workout, you can program you're doing yard work. So maybe there's like bathroom break on there.
I mean,
that's so gross.
Not to get, I'll just stop there.
Yes, what were you just about to say?
Depending on your digestive situation, like if you're constipated, it might be a workout for some folks. Whoop might be like, oh my gosh, you're stressed. Your strain
Why
level.
Are you so stressed?
Why is your strain level so high?
What are you doing? Stop.
Like If we could get Blitz a whoop when he eats something bad and he's
God.
trying to pat,
His
like
body would be like, you're
he
dying.
eats like a glove and he's like out there trying so hard. We went off the rails there. I was just talking about burping and you had to take it there. So
The No Regrets podcast has turned into puke stories and burping and farting stories.
So, I don't know if you guys
have you
ever
experienced that? Are we just alone over here? I can't say I do my zone 2 in the morning. So I've never experienced, I mean,
it's mostly when I just eat
like
lunch too late.
yeah,
If I get
okay,
caught eating lunch
yeah.
too late and then I'm
You
doing
get
it.
the nasty
Yeah.
burps. Okay. Well, science.
Okay, we can science.
Cool. Games talk?
Yeah, go.
Angry Becca engaged. No, there is. I purposely organized our questions because there is like one or two, really just one big question on there, or some people were asking about the programming too, on just our opinions on it. And cool, they kicked off. We're shooting the podcast on Thursday. They kicked off today. We got to watch the biking event, which, man, makes me really realize I got to get on a bike and get comfortable because those events are not going anywhere. They're at the games when you make it to the games. If you guys haven't heard my bike story before for the games last year, as I was like, that was probably one of the scariest moments I've ever been in, was like event 1 on a bike with all 40 of us out there. Was it all 40 of us? Yeah, it was. Yeah. All 40 of us out there. So intimidating, and just being the first event at the games, I was already gonna pee my pants, and I was like, oh, now we're on a bike too. No big deal. Okay. So we got to watch that this morning, and those bikes, that course looked gnarly. I mean, lots of little twists and turns and getting on and getting off. What do you think how do you feel about Games Week?
No, I thought the bike event looked cool.
It did look cool. It looked like they had some spectators around, which is awesome too.
Yeah, it was definitely very challenging, just all the turns, and like it's not like a ton of elevation gain anywhere, but like little, when you add in the elevation in the turns, or how to speed up and accelerate and decelerate through those turns, and then especially like when it's not just a flat turn, takes skill on the bike.
And
so obviously you could see that who people who were really good at that. And then they had the little
wall,
200 meter, I guess, where you had to run your bike, get it over the wall. I don't think the wall thing was a huge thing, but even practicing that, getting off your bike smoothly, getting on your bike smoothly, all makes up little bits of time. So it was cool.
But those mountain bikes were like, burning the legs, like really having to push those guys hard. We had different bikes last year. I have that guy in the garage here. We took it home from the games because I didn't have a bike. So this is my bike that I train on. And I remember we had the course that we ran last year. It had definitely had a big uphill portion of it. And then you came back downhill. It had gravel. It had road. It was like a little bit of everything. I remember my legs were on fire the whole time we did that one. That was like a 35-minute ride, because we had like 5 laps or something. It ended up being like right around 30 to 35 minutes. So the bikes are there. I'm really excited. We haven't seen event 2. Watch some of that go
Shout out to our Bolt mountain bike guys.
I know.
They just went mountain biking, so that was cool. I'm
gonna come with you guys.
Jump in.
I'm scared to mountain bike because I think they're going like pretty. There's
all different ways.
There's beginner trails and everything, and I can talk to Weifu. Oh, shout out Weifu over there who organized and all this. He said there's like beginner trails and everything. I need some of that. I'm very uncomfortable, especially on like some of those challenging trails that we have around here. But my goal, I'm like actually writing it down. I want to do more things that like scare me, get me out of my comfort zone. And especially when it comes to like the games, when we're talking about our games talk. Guys, the games is completely different. It's a whole different game once you get there. You will be prepared, but there will always be something there that's going to scare you and get you out of your comfort zone. And that's the cool part about it. That's the scary part about it, about putting yourself out there and just realizing, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to be an athlete and try to figure it out on the spot. So I am excited to watch the rest of the
I'm
games.
interested to see what the last event is on Friday before the cuts, and just kind of see how that all balances out before that first round of cuts. Even though it's just 10, right? It's just 10 the first day. That should be interesting.
Always mixes up so much over the course of the first like 5 events. Like the leaderboard will constantly be flipping around. Everybody would be moving around. But we'll just jump into this question because it's right off the top. Is someone wanted to know our thoughts on the inverted medley event, which is the gymnastics skill medley, particularly the pullovers. To be honest, this is what they're saying. To be honest, it seems like almost too much new stuff that is potentially super dangerous if you've never done it before, like the 180 dismount or the round off of the box, and then kicking up onto the obstacle to do a 360 pirouette. What are our thoughts on that? Right off the top, I will tell you guys, I did rant a little bit about this when they announced the event. Is I was like, take this from someone who knows what the okay. I'm not getting angry.
Watch out.
I'm not getting angry. I'm just gonna like
just kidding.
Just stop with your face. Hi, I'm Smiley Becca today. But seriously, this is coming from someone who I like that event personally. For me, if I'm being selfish, like I would do good at that event because of my background. But if I'm thinking about people trying to figure out these new skills, like I'm really just, there's not many things besides that 360 pirouette on the soft box that they showed. I think it's a soft box, like on that elevated surface. I am nervous about that because it is dangerous. We saw at semifinals like how many people were failing and walking outside the box on just like the box on the ground. Now you're elevated. And I really want to be like, it's not for these athletes that are out on the floor, they're good enough to control themselves if they do get out of control. But when you're racing and in that competitive spirit, like crazy things happen. So I'm excited to watch it for sure. But like I kind of said a little bit last week, I wish the gymnastics portion was more like volume gymnastics, the fitness aspect of like, show me how many pull-ups you can do, show me how you can move your body weight through space, and really present fitness in that form versus like always trying to do these funky skills. I'm a fan of the pullovers. Yeah. The pullovers still show strength and skill.
I mean, I don't think it's anything other than the pullovers are new, but it's not anything that's going to be too challenging for these athletes.
Yeah.
So other than that, everything has been at the games before. Obviously, you have the pirouette on the.
I just don't think that's necessary.
Elevated surface, but the ramps have been there. The freestanding handstand push-ups. All of these athletes and their coaches, once they made the games, if they didn't have those, I guarantee you they were working on all of these types of skills, like all the time. So, and they practiced. They demanded some of this in the semifinals. So, I don't feel that there's anything like crazy outside of the box or crazy new that's unreasonable. And I do get a little bit, maybe the safety on the elevated box, but is it any more dangerous than the bike event with everybody starting at once and people that can crash and stuff that can happen there? I don't know. And so, and I do think like any sport, like what is the most popular sport in this country? Football. It's freaking dangerous. Mm-hmm. And we want to protect the athletes and find ways to make it safer all the time. And we don't want to take unnecessary risk. Never want to take unnecessary risk or not have athlete safety in mind. But at some point too, there's always going to be a risk in sport. So I don't know if that elevated box, I'd have to see some people try to play around with it. But if it's worth it or not. But I think I kind of agree with you, is maybe there's ways you could do it with staying in a box. Instead of 360, you do like 720. Like you have to make 2 turns in a box. So you're testing the same skill, but it's a little bit safer.
That's where I get a little
where
bit
you're gonna get like a spread. The same person that's gonna win on the box, the 360 is gonna do 720 faster, but then you're not falling off of a box. Yeah. So there may be some argument for that. I also agree that there hasn't been a lot of volume gymnastics, which is kind of, it's like just like weightlifting, we do a 1 rep max lift, and then we do grace where you're moving a barbell. It's fine to have a skill test that's like a high-end skill test or skill medley, but also have some workouts where you're training some volume stuff, and you could even do new stuff like a lot of strict toes to bar or something like that, to where it's still a volume kind of fitness aspect of gymnastics versus just how skillful you are at gymnastics. I mean, there's tons of Olympic weightlifters that can have the skill and the strength to put up huge totals, but you ask them to do squat, clean, grace, and they're going to fall apart. So just that same aspect you want to see balanced in the gymnastics side, I think, is what you're at, or what you were at going
yeah,
towards.
well, that's my frustration with it, because we talked about it a little bit last week. I was just really hoping, but we are seeing a little bit of volume gymnastics in the second event, which I'm super excited about.
Pig chipper.
I just feel like in that Venn diagram, I don't know. I've been going back and forth in it. I think my frustration came with, is it necessary to do that pirouette on the box? I'm totally up for them, like, walking up the ramp all the way to that really tall box and doing the round off. Guys, that's not difficult. If you learn a handstand correctly, you learn how to do that. I watched like Brent Fikowski's Instagram post, and it didn't seem like that round off had a very clear brief to it or a very clear standard. They were just like, make sure your feet are facing the way you're going to go back, which that frustrated me a little bit. There's got to be more clear standards. That happened way too much last year. There was a lot of gray area in all the new standards that we did. I don't think that's dangerous at all. If you know how to handstand, you'll be fine on that, which all these athletes are fantastic athletes that know how to do that stuff.
I think it's just raising the bar of what you're expected to do at the games. Just that, like, there's been years at the games where people can't swim or hardly can swim.
Yeah, you're expected.
You're expected to go try it,
or bike and handstand.
Yeah,
walk
if you're making the game, so
obstacles.
There's nothing more dangerous than someone in the ocean.
When we
were in California doing open water swims in the ocean, in the Pacific Ocean, and having very limited swim experience. And sure, they took athlete safety in mind, and they had lots of lifeguards and everything, but it's just saying, like, hey, this is an expectation.
I will take back my dangerous quote, because the biking, I mean, it's sport, and you love that about sport. When you're an athlete, I mean, that's part of the reason why you do it is a little bit of that risk.
It's kind of like cool. You said, doing stuff that scares you. If you would have had to do the crit, you would have been terrified.
I think if there was one thing I would never want to do at the games is the crit.
And that's going to drive you to, like, get more comfortable on the bike, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Or even last year drives you to spend more time on the bike. And then same thing, if you are potentially on that edge of making the games, like, you're going to be scared as hell. Like, I might fall on my face in front of everybody.
Or fall off your bike on your butt and roll an ankle and do that on event 1.
Yeah.
Did it, done it, check mark it. And then we're going to be back there soon, hopefully. All over
ultimately, you don't want to take unnecessary risk, but every now and then there's going to be risks in the test to truly get a full breadth of.
Very excited to see the skill medley. The other thing is, it's not anymore, the box is not any more dangerous than people learning to walk over the parallettes the first time. That scared me a little bit, just because one misstep of your hand, you're going face first into a bar. So, I mean, I go back and forth on, is it maybe dangerous? No. Is it necessary? No. I don't think a pirouette on top of a box is necessary.
The funny thing too, we just talked about football and how dangerous of a sport it is. Mm-hmm. I think, like, the highest injury, most dangerous sport is gymnastics. Like, high level gymnastics.
We are not answering this question well, because well, injuries that happen in gymnastics, they just happen everywhere, from accidents to overuse.
There's so many things.
So definitely excited to see that one. Wish I was doing it, for sure. Wish I was doing it. So I read you this question because this awesome person, I had to think about this question. Email us if you have long form questions at getthatfusenews@gmail.com. This one came from that. Ready for it? How can a person who drives trucks experience CrossFit? Don't have access to a box. If I go to a box, it may be twice, maybe 3 times a month. I'm very fascinated with CrossFit. been reading the journals or CrossFit main site. I'm overweight with type 2 diabetes with joint injuries and a disabled veteran. Thanks. So we're going to kind of give some advice for truck drivers out there. Thank you for your service and thank you for your question.
Your service.
Always super cool. So you want to kick us off on that one?
I mean, the first thing I would say is change your mindset. Just because it's easy to make an excuse. I don't have a home gym. I'm not saying that's what you're doing. You're just asking for advice, but just knowing how human beings, we tend to
You can do it.
Yeah, you can do it. You can make it happen. And it's just ultimately you deciding that you want to do it. So that would be the first thing, is shifting your mindset of like, hey, your circumstances are different, but it's not impossible and it's not an excuse, or don't let it make you a victim to your circumstances. So that's what I would say. First thing, like, not saying that's what you were doing by asking the question, but just for other people listening that might be in similar circumstances, don't let that deter you. Second is start with something simple and find yourself some form of coaching or community. And the two places I would say that would be the most useful or possibly beneficial for you, and that I know people have had success with, would be something like street parking.
Ooh.
That does garage gym fitness, and they have all sorts of examples. Like if you just had a dumbbell and maybe a jump, a few things that you kept in your truck, you could do probably some variety of what they do on a daily basis. And they have a very strong, from what I've seen from the outside, I haven't experienced it, they have a very strong kind of online community that's going to help you be accountable. And so something like that. And I know there's stuff, I believe Mayhem has something like Mayhem 30, which is like kind of an at-home, shorter, even a no equipment type program. So, and I know, and at least on the competitive side, there's a big community in that Mayhem community. So finding yourself now thankfully we have the internet and all those sorts of things, a place that's going to get you kind of some coaching, whether it be videos you can watch of the workouts, but then also some connection to a community to where you can communicate with people or have other people, even if you're just looking at putting your time in, that a little bit of accountability of like, hey, I'm going to log into their app and do that. That's what I would recommend. I mean, beyond that, you could get a personalized coach that could give you something exactly for you, but that's obviously going to be a bigger investment, a bigger probably monetary investment. But that's what I would start with.
So that's really cool.
If you're like, hey, I'm ready to get into CrossFit style training.
I'm so glad this question came up for a couple reasons. I love when it's just the timing of it's really good, because I feel like recently I've had a little bit of a mindset kind of shift and thinking about why I do the fitness that I do. And obviously I'm kind of in another bubble just because of the way I compete. I'm also in it for the sport of it, not just health and fitness, but those two kind of go together. And we've also had, recently I've been talking to a lot of our members, and I know you have too, of even my dad's one of them, and some folks that love to do CrossFit and absolutely love the community of it, because that's what creates CrossFit. It's the workouts and the community aspect all tied together. But then I'm like, especially because I coach the classes, I coach some kiddos for personal training, I coach people trying to get skills and everything, and I'm like, what is CrossFit? And yes, CrossFit has its specific types of workouts, but when it boiled down to like the end of my thoughts, I was like, I don't care if you do CrossFit or whatever you want to call it. You do something that helps your health and fitness, that fits your lifestyle. There have been some members in here that have said, hey, I need to stop CrossFit. And I'm like, what does that mean? I'm like, you could come in here, and regardless of what equipment you use, what your body feels like, we can write you up something that'll get you moving. And I feel like in my eyes, CrossFit is so broad. Everybody just needs to find some type of movement that fits their lifestyle. And when people have come up to me, they're like, I can't do CrossFit anymore, because they're imagining you're snatching a barbell for time and you're doing all these crazy things up on the pull-up bar. I'm like, no, we don't have to do that. we just have to adjust based on what your body feels like, what your injuries, past injuries are. We want you to be fit and healthy, and everybody has to do it in a different way, depending on what their lifestyle, what their life has brought them. So right. Those were great programs and points, and definitely things like you can implement into that. And when you have the time to stop into a CrossFit gym, awesome. You're going to get that community aspect. You're going to get the magic of it and be able to do a little bit more stuff rather than being limited by your truck driving and your situation there. So
yeah, just to piggyback on what you said, I think there is, the longer you do this and different things that come up, whether it be physical limitations or injuries, it can be frustrating because you can't snatch what you used to snatch or move like you used to move. But you just have to realize the end goal of what you're trying to
Fitness
build.
Is lifelong. It's going to have to adjust.
But I will say there is times like psychologically, or that you want to take a break or dovetail off into something else, bodybuilding, running a 10K, and it's fine to kind of go off and train that. I wouldn't totally give up on the full functional fitness side because it's going to serve you well in any of those things. So there is that, but just as long as the biggest thing is be honest with yourself. Is it because it's hard and difficult, or is it just, hey, I need this psychological, I kind of want something new and fresh, and this is a piece of what I'm going to do for a while. But as long as you're being honest with yourself, I think it's fine to have those moments of maybe dovetailing a little bit, not doing pure CrossFit, but even that is still.
This is lifelong.
Doing functional fitness is.
You're going to have to change and adapt over the course of your life, and don't be afraid to do that and try different things. But no matter where you're at in life, no excuses. No excuses. You can do it. You can do it. Everyone can do it. You just got to prioritize it, make a good plan, and then go from there.
And take baby steps to start. If you're like that dude.
Thank you for your service and your question. You're awesome. Go get it. Matt and I have said we could live. You talked about you wanted to be a truck driver at one point. You said when we road trip, you're like, I could totally be a truck driver. I was like, okay.
I have that little bit of that nomad in me too. We could get a van with Blitz and definitely travel around.
But I could definitely see you driving a semi and then Blitz is just like sitting on the side of you. I could see you guys doing that. That's awesome. Next question. Is Funfetti a cake flavor? Please validate me, my best friend asked. I like how this is a fitness podcast, and then it goes to this. My best friend asked what my favorite kind of cake was. I said Funfetti. She claimed that Funfetti isn't a flavor, and now I may need a new best friend. Okay.
I don't know what Funfetti is.
It's the vanilla with the sprinkles.
So it isn't a flavor. It's just vanilla.
I really like this person because they send in great questions all the time, but I have to go with it's vanilla cake.
With just cool little specks in it.
But I put sprinkles on my ice cream just because it's fun. So, but I don't call it.
You put gummy bears in your ice cream and eat them hard. That's weird.
Different question. Gummy bears and ice cream are the best. I like when they get hard and frozen. Weird. But I put.
You know what I put in my ice cream?
Fruit. You psycho.
No. Milk, because it's too sweet by itself.
But I don't. So if I put sprinkles in my mint chocolate chip ice cream, which I did that this past weekend, I don't call it Funfetti mint or whatever. So, sorry. I hope you guys can still be friends. I'll still be your friend, even though you think Funfetti's a flavor.
Blind taste test is the real, true experiment.
Oh, yeah.
Blind taste test.
You know what I hate?
But can you taste in the Funfetti like little chunks, or is it just like literally?
No, it's just like visual thing.
Okay, blind taste test settles it.
You know what I would hate to do too, because I say red velvet is one of my favorite cake flavors. I think that doesn't have much of its own flavor. Red velvet cake, I feel like it's almost just like vanilla cake.
No, it's got a flavor.
Does it?
Yeah.
I don't feel like it does. But I just like the fact that it's red and it's velvet. And it's got cream cheese icing usually. Okay, next question. Man, why did I put this question on here? It's just going to make me angry.
Oh, here we go.
No. I'll bring the drama for
Deep
it.
breath. Hey, maybe if you burp
Dealing
before, it'll lower your heart rate.
dealing with gym drama while trying to progress as an athlete. Where's the rest of that question? Okay, we just say have a brief gym drama talk. I hate gym drama. Whatever you do, if you're an affiliate owner and you see gym drama, just cut it off at the head right away. Unless if you're bringing it, you need to like.
I feel like we could make like a really funny reels or video
about gym drama
of like days of our lives, but like make it in the gym and just do some corny, funny dramatic scenes.
I mean,
or like telenovelas, like some Hispanic,
and
like
I
some
think
Spanish
it's a little bit
Spanish.
of we have cut gym drama off in the past, but it hasn't been like bad. I don't know. Egos bring up gym drama, I think. And then just disconnection through the community. We don't have a lot of gym drama here. But I hear so many stories of people dealing with, it's like the cool kids club. We've talked about that before, and the not cool kids club. And everybody has like their little circles. And I hate that. But to answer this question, like having it limit your progression as an athlete is dumb. Like you need to build a thicker. If I'm being completely honest,
drama is too broad.
It's not gym. It's not even gym. That's just drama in life. I feel like if you're around, there's drama everywhere. If I'm being honest, you just got to build a thicker skin and not let it get to you. I did a move mindset talk, and it's one of my favorite ones. And I did it with my, I did a small post with my squid hat on the other day. Maybe I shouldn't have worn the squid hat to make it more serious. But I said it'll only hurt you if there's a part of you that believes it. And what I mean by that is insults, drama, whatever you want to call it, will only affect you if there's a part of you in your brain that's like kind of like, oh, am I like that? Am I like, you get defensive about it.
Yeah.
And I know in the past, if I catch myself getting defensive about something, I try to check myself and be like, is this who I am? Maybe it is. If it isn't, I just let it go and then I go about my business. But when it comes to drama, I mean,
it's too broad of a. I don't know what that means. It could be a million things.
We've talked about
because
like
I don't know
your community
there's
in the past.
There's a side of me that says let it roll off your back, but depending on the type of drama it is, it's like stand up and do the right thing by either saying something, bring it up to somebody, or leave. But I just don't know what degree of gym drama they're talking about, so I can't really say what to do.
I want to give them an answer, but yeah, I'm with you.
Because there's some point where it's like if it's unethical, if there's bad, like that you need to stand up and say something or bring it to somebody's attention, or just physically say like, hey, I'm not being judgmental, but I don't want to be around this. It's not good for me. Peace, I'm out. I just don't know what the deal of or what degree of they're talking about.
Make sure you're in a healthy environment, one. Because as much as like of an individual, I think like I have a pretty thick skin. If I'm in a bad environment, I'm just like, oh, I don't want to be here. It's just like extra energy that you're expending that you could be using on your training and working on yourself. So that's number one. Check your environment. If it's something that you can like work productively in, great. You can stay there. If it's not, change environments if the drama's that bad. Two, I just always go back to if there's drama that crosses my path that affects me, I'm just like, why does it affect me?
Yeah.
And if it's something I can work on personally, I will. If it's something that I can't control, that's when you gotta like peace.
Yeah, because sometimes you got to be honest with yourself. Like,
you don't want to spend time in some place that's going to hinder your progression.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes you have to be honest with yourself. As like, I'm creating the drama by how I'm reacting to the situation because I'm envious or something else is happening.
Oh, he said it. You're the problem. I'm just kidding. No. I'm kidding. No, there's a chance. There's a chance. But I think if we all kind of take that idea of working on ourselves rather than focusing on that, the whole situation, all the sides of it will get better. But check your environment and then make sure that's right first. And then really check yourself, like, why does this bother me? If it's something I can work on, sweet. If it's not, you got to move. Okay. There was quite a few questions that people were asking when I started CrossFit, and I started CrossFit back when I was 13. So I went through my teenage years, competed as a teenager 2 years at the games, and then now 10 years later, oh my gosh, my 10-year anniversary is coming up. Wow. 10 years of doing all this crazy stuff. Yeah, but almost 10 years of doing all this. I love it. Fell in love with it from day one. And it's definitely been a lot of, obviously, physical growth as my body has changed from teenager to adult, but also a lot of mental growth up here. And not only, I will say this, I fell in love with it because this kept me doing the sports and athletics that I love to do, but also interacting with people in a community. And this is my job, so it's amazing. And I'm so glad I get to do it next to hardworking people. So that's why I started or got into CrossFit at 13, and the challenge of it and the community aspect of it kept me around almost 10 years later. There you go. If you could use magic to do one mundane task for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Use magic to do what? Say that again.
One mundane, is that how you say that?
Remove?
No, to just do the task for you. Like, you don't have to do it. Fold clothes. That's so easy for me. Folding clothes is the stupidest thing on planet Earth. I hate folding clothes. I'm just gonna unfold them and wear them. I don't like doing dishes either, though. Come on, what do you do? You would probably say like grocery shopping or something. No?
I mean, mundane, I think like something to do with the business.
Okay.
Like some administrative task, like
emails.
Like take people's money or deal with credit cards and.
Is that what you would use your magic on?
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna see the clothes being folded magically off to the side. I've always said, when they invent the washer and dryer that folds your clothes for you, sign me up. I don't care how much it costs. Sign me up. I don't want anything to do with my clothes. That's why we wear spandex all the time. Just saw your post on Accessory Work on IG. How important is it? Very. It's like the glue that holds all the big things together, or like the phloem that fills in the gaps to all of your training. I was trying to think of something that like you'd fill in something.
The real reason, like, I think people think accessory work sometimes is just like additional volume.
It's not.
And sometimes it's okay if it's somewhat the case. Like if you're trying to build a muscle, you're doing accessory work to try to get more pump or more time under tension on the muscle, under the muscle. But as a CrossFit athlete, there's some point to where, you might have the skill or have some volume of the skill, but there's a limiting factor in your strength somewhere, or your ability to pull down with the bar on your lats. And so instead of just doing more toes to bar, is not going to make you better as fast as, hey, if I just do a lot of lat accessory work, I'll get my lats stronger. Then that's going to like speed up my ability to do big sets of toes to bar. So there's certain things like that, is like if you can target, hey, I'm weak here, or the weakest part of this movement for me, or where I fail is midline stamina or my grip or different things, that where you can do accessory work to get that stronger, and then that's going to make that skill or that movement stronger. And so as a CrossFit athlete, that's what I would say is the accessory work is kind of targeting that weakness so you get better faster at those
also
movements.
Injury prevention.
And then that's
we're training like major muscle groups, and sometimes that accessory work is focused on more of those smaller muscle
staying
groups.
Balanced and
stabilization
and just getting those smaller muscle groups to make sure they're firing. I know there's a lot of shoulder issues in CrossFit, and that's because most people don't know their smaller rotator cuff muscles, or they over exert certain muscles, or they're very anterior dominant, and they don't develop a lot of posterior shoulder strength and different things, and so it creates imbalances. And then, just like we always say, like when we do accessory work, it's like, don't worry about the weight, just make sure the right muscles are working and burning, because one, if you're not,
you'd be surprised what muscles you don't use.
Yeah, exactly. And what happens when you don't use them, or when they don't get stronger, they're not getting the reps. You can be doing the basic movement, but if you're not using the right muscles to do it. So staying balanced and
very important,
injury free, and then also kind of target weaknesses.
Very important. Do your accessory work. I know it's not fun and fancy, but it pays off big time.
And do it with
intention.
That's the other thing. A lot of people will go through the motions or do it, but not be like,
I feel so proud of that moment. You were like,
yeah, it's like I coach you or something. You know what I want. But yeah, think about why you're doing it, or ask your coach, like, where should I be feeling this, especially in like the accessory stuff, because it is so easy. We program it a lot in class, and people think that they know the basic motion, but they're not using the right muscles.
Would you have tried out for American Gladiators? Yeah. Guys, we talked about this when I was first watching it with Matt. I was like, what the heck is this? But then the more we watched it, I was like, okay, I'm in. Did you make Seth Rollins tier shoes? I did. Very cool. Very cool connection. And I've actually made 2 pairs of his shoes. You guys seen his blue cheetah fancy outfit from a couple pay-per-views ago. And then these were some crazy ones that they requested in a short period of time. But if you want your own custom tier shoes, you can check out my website. What did you want to be growing up? I wanted to be a teacher. Now I deliver beer. LOL. I don't know. I don't know. I literally did not know in high school and everything. And then I got into this, and I was like, I don't see myself doing anything else. What did you want to be? An astronaut?
No.
I want to go to space.
I'm not sure. I mean, I didn't have a set thing like I want to be this. I guess I just wanted to be. I fell into that thing of doing. I was a very good like student, followed all the rules. I was very much in that path of like, do the thing you're supposed to do or you should do. Like that.
We've talked about this before.
And
we're
I
like
had this
rule followers,
but I had this underlying like sense of, I don't want to be. I'm a contrarian. I don't want to just do what everyone else is doing. So that eventually took over. But like even when I went to the academy, because it's a great school, and I wanted to play football there, and then I was there, and I was good at math, and it's like one of the top engineering schools in the country. So I was like, I guess I'll get an engineering degree, and then kind of did all of these things. But then I was like, at some point I was like, I don't want to do this.
We've talked about this before. Matt and I are both rule followers, but I have this underlying rebel under that, being that I was the same way. Like through high school, I had good grades, did all my assignments, all my homework and everything. But if you ask me what I want to do, I'm like, something these people aren't doing. Like I want to do something different. I don't just want to run the same course everybody else is running. So I didn't know. That's why I'm so thankful that I found this at such an early age. And I love being an athlete, so it gave me a chance to be an athlete for a very long time.
Here's what I've learned over time. When I was young, I used to think that all the people that made the rules were smart and caring people.
Oh, look who's angry now.
And then I realized they're just human beings and people, and some of them are dumb and stupid, so I don't have to follow dumb and stupid rules.
Look who's angry now. hit a nerve right there. Would you ever train Blitz to go hunting? Can we get a Blitz cam? Blitz was just barking and we had to take a break.
He's a natural hunter.
I don't think so, just because neither of us do any
Blitz,
hunting. I
gonna
don't
go
have the guts
hunt?
for that. But Blitz just naturally knows how to point, and he does love to hunt in the woods back there. He definitely chases a lot of things, but he does a natural like little point. Go freeze. It's very cool. Very cool. But I don't know.
His
if
instincts
ever go.
are amazing. It's
already
crazy how they breed that into them. When he sees a squirrel, oh, he just looked at me.
Oh, you said it.
I missed it. When he sees a squirrel, he goes on attack mode.
Bugs, birds,
anything that he can chase or get. But the crazy thing is too, that you can see in these dogs that are bred to hunt alongside humans, is how much they want direction from you within the hunt. Like he'll gets really excited about if I go out with him and we're like chasing a squirrel,
he loves a good job,
or I tell him where it's at, or tell him to go this way or that way to flush something out. He gets super excited. So
yeah, he loves to be.
Not much.
Give him a job and he'll go.
I did some hunting in the past. I haven't done it anytime recently, but he would love doing any of that. But he's not trained to it.
Yeah, which you wouldn't want to put him in any danger.
He'd be fine.
We will go hiking with him soon, like a legit Colorado hike. So we'll see how he does with that. We're gonna do a rapid fire. Let's keep it rapid fire today. Favorite chocolate bar? Twix or Milky Way? Can't decide. I think it's Twix.
Go.
No, yours.
I don't have a favorite chocolate bar.
Oh my gosh, how is this going to be rapid fire if you don't answer any of them?
I don't have a favorite chocolate
Raisinette. Bar. It's not a bar, but it's a Raisinette.
I don't eat chocolate bars.
Okay, I don't eat them either, but you definitely had one. Thank you. There you go. That's a good one. Vacation in Canada? ? Not unless I go to the beach soon. I will not go to Canada before the beach.
Why? Go to Canada right now. It's probably beautiful.
I will not go to Canada before I go to the beach. So you guys are down on the wait list. Are you married? Hope you're watching the video. How much do you like kebabs? A kebab is anything you want it to be, as long as it's on a stick, right?
I think there's...
Who's still working out right now?
Coaches.
Okay. Usually people aren't working out right now.
I think there's different types of kebabs.
No, rapid fire. Rapid fire. How much do you like kebabs on a scale of 1 to 10? What if there was such thing as a dessert kebab? Does that exist? Like cake, cookie?
I think the type of kebab that maybe they're talking about is kind of I haven't had
candy
before.
Strip, something like that.
Because I've just had like shish kebabs I've made on the grill.
Like a onion, shrimp,
they're good.
Steak. That sounds really good actually right now. 7 out of 10. I don't know why. I think I just haven't given them a chance enough. Okay, that's the end of our rapid fire. Good job. Do you do CrossFit benchmarks like the girls' workouts regularly for their intended purpose to establish progress? ? Just benchmark workouts?
No, we don't do a lot of those. We do them. They come up every night. We're doing one tomorrow, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What is it? Helen, because the Games is doing it.
Oh, shit. We're doing Helen. Oh.
Wow.
Beep. Okay. No. You can speak to this. You're the programmer for the gym, but not a whole ton. They pop up every now and then.
Yeah. This goes back to my contrarian nature, especially when I first started. I felt like so much of the programming was just lazy in affiliates. I'm serious. And it was just named workouts all the time. And I just wanted to write my own. And I didn't want to, that was a way to separate, bolt a little bit from CrossFit, or say, hey, we're CrossFit, we're diehard CrossFitters, but CrossFit affiliates. But I guess a part of my contrarian nature was I wanted to develop our own style of programming and how we did things. So we did those less often. And this I get salty sometimes when I see leaderboards or, you get to people, like if it's not judged like on a benchmark thing like that, doesn't mean much to me. I always saw that on the gyms, like best Helen time, best this, best
so glad
that.
you're making up for the saltiness that I had
And
last week.
and when I see some of those things, I'm like, if it wasn't judged or counted, it doesn't count. Like, so I just never wanted to create that culture of going fast no matter what, or cutting corners. Always that we have competition days. I have days where I push people to compete, and people naturally do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that naturally happens, so you don't have to push it as much. In a lot of gyms where they push it a lot, you get a lot of people that cut range of motion, cut corners, cut reps, all that sort of stuff to just get on the leaderboard, because that's valued the most. That's valued over anything else in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Or especially back then.
It's so good. The binge, I mean, we still do our programming.
We'll repeat stuff, but
is all the liftings, like linear progression. We're doing strength cycles, and we do come up on a lot of benchmarks. And I mean, we use Sugar Watt around here, so it'll warn you when you've done this specific workout before, which is really always fun to see. And then when those pop up, yeah, we just definitely, I mean, prioritize quality moving first and foremost, and then just always holding yourself to that standard. And when we do bring up those competition days, I mean, we're preaching that same thing. I think we just don't do it a whole ton for those reasons of we want to compete, but we want to do it in a healthy way, and you'll still see progress.
We talk about this all the time. There's a difference between competing and training.
Yeah.
And when you're in here, most days,
of the time we're training.
You should be training. It's okay to, hey, I could do this workout faster doing single toes to bar. That's not going to get you better at toes to bar, or work on your grip fatigue if you just are constantly breaking up those toes to bar, stuff like that. So, or the dreaded swinging, I'm touching my toes to bar, doing it RX, but I'm just swinging back and forth, and I'm not developing any gymnastics awareness or coordination of a kipping swing and being able to hold on to it. So we try to break down some of those things. So
I had to stand up. Sorry, that stool was driving me insane. Hope you guys can still see me.
That's just how we do things.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. To answer your question, no, around here, like, we don't do a whole lot of it, but we do lifting cycles, benchmarks, so you guys can still see the progress that you want to see from doing things like that. So cool.
And EMOMs is another great way.
EMOMs, my favorite.
That we do, that you can really see progress in, what you can hold in a minute.
Last question. What's the best advice you can give to a new L1 coach starting out? And what is the best continuing education course? I couldn't tell you that, the second part of that question. Let me think for a second. You're going to, just the advice, you're going to learn so much just from being on the floor, and you will never stop having new situations come into the gym. And it's so fun. That's what keeps it so entertaining, is every day you're going to have a new challenge, just because everyone's different. I say that all the time with personal training, is I think I really help someone, or I feel like I help and do a good job, whether it's get someone their new skill or help them progress in their fitness and health journey. And then I'm like, I'm going to write this down. I got this all figured out. And then the next person comes in and they're completely different. I'm like, nope, can't use that plan. This person's completely different. So it'll always keep you entertained. You'll always be learning. So get ready for that. Any advice for a new L1 coach? I can't sit still today. Too much caffeine.
I would say I can't answer when you're dancing around over there.
I'll stop.
Just develop relationships. That's how you're going to be the most effective coach, and showing that you care. And you show that you care in a lot of ways. You know, there's so many like little low-hanging fruits that it can be easy to fall into after you coach a certain amount of classes, but obviously like big no-nos. Don't be on your phone. If you are on your phone, or you do like little things to show that you do, I hear that happens at places.
It does. It blows my mind. Blows my mind.
You know, how you go about the warm-up, how you go about carrying yourself, how you're dressed, all of those things show that you care in a way. And so, you know, you can't be upset about, oh, no one listens to me, when you don't show that you you're willing to like build that relationship and care with that person. And then just being very honest, like when you're a new level one, if you don't know the answer, don't pretend. Just you'll actually you'll gain more trust with people if you're like, I'm not sure. I'm gonna ask one of the other coaches, or you'll be like, I'm gonna check that out. And then you actually go do it. You actually go do a little research and said, hey, I read this last night. Let's try this. Dude, if you do that for an athlete,
oh my gosh,
you're gonna be gold in their mind. And then what else did you do? That's your continuing education. You just learned something because you applied.
Oh my gosh.
Experience is the best teacher.
Crushing this answer.
You applied something that an obstacle in class, and that got you to seek out this information that now you go back and you try to apply and see how it works. And then maybe you adjust from there. And I'm telling you, if you do those little things for people, they'll start coming, they'll like trust you with everything. And then once you do that, then you can be a really effective coach, because you can be like, bro, take weight off the bar. Hey, let's not try that today. Let's try this. And they'll naturally kind of fall into that fold of listening to you.
That's totally. And that's such a fun reward that you get with coaching, is when you guys work together to figure it out. I mean, that's the coolest moments, is when you didn't know something, you and your athlete worked together and kind of communicated back and forth. And then you're like, oh, that was cool. We got the result that we wanted. Or if you didn't, then you learned not to do that in the future. And
when you get that light bulb moment together, that's the best part of coaching.
Yeah. So and then when you do that, honestly, this is a really good thing or good positive note to finish on that I dealt with at the beginning of at least my coaching career, is almost feeling like insecure that I don't know as much, or don't know as much as I feel like I should know to coach our folks and everything. But being totally honest with them and telling them, I know this, I don't know this, but I'm going to go try to figure this out with you. It takes the pressure off of you to feel like you need to be perfect, because you don't need to be perfect right away. As long as you show that you care and you're putting effort in, and that you're learning alongside your people, you're going to be golden as a coach.
For this goes to the athletes out there. Last thing really quick I want to add on to this, because it's important, is if you ask your coach a question and they give you an answer and it's not the answer you want, give it an honest try. Because I get questions a lot and then I don't feel like it's ever followed up upon, right? And then go give it an honest try and be like, coach, I've been doing maybe it won't work, but you go, coach, I've been doing what you told me to do the last 3 weeks and this is still an issue. And then I tell you right now, if an athlete did that after I gave them some advice, I'll bend over backwards to go, okay, we got to figure out what this is.
Yeah.
What I see a lot is, oh, I don't want to do that. That's not fun to go do that stretch. Mm-hmm. So I do it one time and then I never do it again. So if you want to get better, and if you want your coach invested in you too, showing that little bit of effort and then coming back with the feedback is a way to get more attention and get better.
Boom. Boom. You heard it. You're not going to hear it anywhere else but the No Regrets podcast. The one and only Coach Matt Barry, just crushing the questions. I'm going to share a workout.
I'm good at the coaching questions, not what's my favorite chocolate bar.
He sucks at those questions. I'll answer those questions. But he's good at the coaching questions. I'll give you guys a fun workout that I did. Save this one. Told you guys I'd even tell it to you guys on the podcast. I did a small little, somewhat interval-y workout. It's got very short rest in it, so it didn't really feel like interval-y, but it was interval-y. On Tuesday, and it went a little something like this. 4 sets. You're going to need a barbell and a pull-up bar. 20 toes to bar, over to your barbell. 10 front squats. I used 135, but it should be something that's kind of heavy, but you can do unbroken. Back to the pull-up bar. 20 chest to bar pull-ups. Back to the barbell. 10 shoulder to overhead. Rest 1 minute. My idea was keeping it 1 minute because I was like, oh, let's see how long I can hold. It's going to get grippy, how long I can hold on to the pull-up bar. And I knew that 1 minute was going to be very, very challenging. But Matt goes, hey, why don't you mirror the rounds and then go back the way you came every other round? So round 2 would look like 10 shoulder to overhead, 20 chest to bar, 10 front squats, finish on 20 toes to bar. Rest 1 minute, mirror it again, round 3 looks like round 1, and you're going to do 4 sets of that. That was fun and spicy, and my grips just fell apart the whole time because I think it's hot and just they're melting on the pull-up bars. That's my workout for you guys. It was fun. Yeah. I hope you enjoy it. Adjust the weight and the rep scheme accordingly. If 20s on the pull-up bar is too much, do 10s.
Unbroken.
On the way through.
Is the
Unbroken.
Idea, right?
Yeah, unbroken is the idea. Or maybe when you get to the final set, it's just like hanging on for dear life. But that's what it kind of turned into. That's a wrap. That's a long podcast.
Maybe I should start doing my favorite workout.
I asked you, would you want to give them a workout really quick?
No, it's okay. We're too long. Next time I will.
Okay, you better come prepared. I feel like I ask you things and you're like,
45
minutes of running. I knew you were going to say that.
That was not my favorite.
45 minutes of running. Go do it.
Not my favorite, but
All
I
right.
did it.
For Becca, Matt, and Blitz, we are out for episode 9. Thank you guys for joining us. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week for more fun stuff. Bye!